Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Just a Guy on My Lunch Break. My name is Corey. I will be your host today. I'm going to go ahead and try to get started because I get so many good comments, and this channel is kind of for the people, by the people. You guys run a lot of what I talk about on this channel. I'm always going over subscriber comments and everything. Just be patient with me. Obviously, I'm over 500 subscribers at this point. You know how it is. I mean, obviously not all 500 of those people are listening regularly. Certainly not all 500 at one time are commenting, but when you get over 500 subscribers, you do have a pretty large amount of people that are watching your content and consuming your content regularly. And then, a relatively large portion of those people regularly comment and, engage and interact with the channel. I wish I could have the time to always interact and engage with everyone that leaves a comment. You guys know I try to do my best to do that, but I'm only one man. There's only so much time in the day, and I also have a family, a job, children, all that. So I have a lot of responsibilities outside this channel. So if there are times where I don't respond to it, or if you've left a good comment and I don't get to include it in the video, it's not that I didn't love your comment. It's not that I don't love you interacting with the channel, but, it's just not but so much time within the video for me to get to the comment. So just try to be patient with me on that. And in fact, the first comment is a good representation of that. I had somebody ask me recently about a device called the Bridge. Some of you may have heard of it. I assured that person that I would look at it and maybe talk about it on one of my videos. Well, they had to call me on it. A week later, I got another message from the same guy. Hey, how come you haven't talked about the Bridge yet? Am I missing something? How come nobody's talking about this? It seems like a really, really big thing as it relates to opiate withdrawal. And I had to assure him, no, I'm just really, really, really busy. It has nothing to do with the fact that, I ain't messing with no Bridge. I ain't talking about no Bridge. What is this bullshit? It didn't have anything to do with that. Just a really busy person. But with that said, I'm going to get started. This is at user-DH2NI8ZE80. I'm sure that username has absolutely no meaning to it whatsoever. It looks like, you know how when you take a keyboard and just go like that, just it looks like somebody just took their keypad and just went, just hit a bunch of stuff. But anyway, he says, or she, I'm not sure, it doesn't indicate, but this person says, hey Corey, did you check out the Bridge yet? I have told about 6 big YouTubers and no one has even replied to me. If you want to get people off of this, this would be a great ticket, and use it for tapering. Am I missing something here? Why has no one mentioned this? By the way, the glasses are cool. Thank you, bro. Thank you. Says the glasses are cool. Come on, man. Let's go. Let's go. I have a couple of people that really kind of bitch and whine about my glasses, but it is what it is, man. I'm not going to go into that. I've got whole videos on that shit. Thank you for that, by the way. Hey, man, I'm assuming you're a guy. Most of my viewers are. So your handle name doesn't indicate whether you're a male or female. So if you're a female and I'm calling you a male, sorry. It's 2023, man. What do you want me to say? you can be all kinds of shit these days. Anyway, that's a topic for a whole nother video as well. So yeah, I'm just now getting around to, I did watch the video on it yesterday, and I'm going to talk a little bit about what the Bridge is. I was able to do a little bit of research. I'm definitely no professional on this, but I'm going to depart the little knowledge that I do have about this device to you guys, okay? So the Bridge works through neurostimulation and is an auricular, which means it attaches to the ear, peripheral nerve field stimulator that connects topically to the patient's ear, blocking pain signals from getting through to the brain. It's a small electronic stimulator the size of a hearing aid. The NSS-2 bridge fits discreetly behind the patient's ear. Painless electrical pulses are delivered through the skin to 4 cranial nerves, including the occipital nerves along the cervical vertebrae. The bridge device cost roughly, and this is where was okay. Well, first off, let me back up. So he sent me to a video, and you know what? I'll put the link to this video down in my comments after posting this. The name of the video is called "The Odyssey House Test New Mind-Blowing Device for Opiate Withdrawal." Okay, and it has this, you know, I guess like a scientist, a female scientist sitting there with a gentleman, and I must say, the guy she's talking to, you can tell this son of a gun's going through some sort of withdrawal. I mean, his nose is all red. He's kind of white and flush, and you can just tell the guy doesn't feel that great. So, if this isn't actually a person going through some sort of withdrawal and he's just an actor, he did a pretty damn good job of acting like he was in withdrawal, because you could tell he was just kind of dejected, like the no energy, the just kind of feeling like shit. And so, this guy describes what kind of symptoms that he's having. This is about a 5-minute video, so it's a quick look. He describes what type of withdrawal symptoms that he's having. And so she takes this device called the bridge, and she attaches it kind of behind the ear and up in the lobe of the ear. Now, this somehow sends vibratory, like stimulatory impulses into the brain, into the ear canal, and blocking pain signals from somehow manifesting from the brain into the body. So in effect, kind of makes your withdrawal symptoms disappear, literally. And this is topical. This is not something that's done internally. It's not a medication or another substance that you ingest to kind of cover up the symptoms, right? Well, I guess it is in a way kind of covering up the symptoms, but this is not something that you put in your body or ingest. It's something topically placed on your ear. And she puts this device on the guy's ear, and then the video cuts, and she comes back. I think it's a few minutes later. It's just a few minutes later, like maybe 10 or 15 minutes later, and talks to the guy, and the guy is literally just like, I'm very excited right now. I'm very excited right now. You know, my cold chills have gone away. My trembles, my shaking has gone away. I feel, and he looked shocked, like that he felt this way. He's like, I feel like energized, like I just want to go do stuff, that I could go and get stuff done. I have some energy. You know, I don't feel sick. Basically, all of the guy's withdrawal symptoms from opiates had completely disappeared based on this device. Okay, so give it a look. The only negative aspect I could find on it is it looks like something that's still somewhat in its testing phases, and I don't know if it's been, you know, approved by the, you know, governing bodies that help to get something like this released into the world of physicians, and, you know, where doctors can prescribe it and give it out to people, whatever it is. And I did read that most insurances do not cover the device, and the device is not cheap. You're looking at anywhere between $500-$600, but depending on what your financial means are, maybe it's worth it for you. And if you're a person that's been on opiates, or on and off opiates a lot of your life, and you find yourself just having trouble getting over that hump of completely getting off of them, and, you know, all other efforts have failed, all the substances that you can take, all the exercise that you can do, you know, all the professional help, the, you know, rehabilitation, you know, the doctor interventions, the rehabs, NA, AA, all of it's failed for you. This might be the move. You know, if you've got 500 bones to throw at something like that, if it really does truly work, and from what I could tell, doesn't seem like something that's completely bullshit. I mean, you know, I don't know why they would put something like that out if there's absolutely, you know, no legitimacy to the fact that it really does help with withdrawals. And if this video was telling the truth, then it absolutely helps. And if that guy was not a paid actor, which it seemed like he wasn't, then it seems like it would actually really help. So let's be honest, you know, that's one of the main reasons that a lot of people have trouble getting off of opiates. It's way different than other stuff. You know, it's way different than something like cocaine or even marijuana or something like that. The withdrawals can be pretty horrible, pretty deplorable. And you know, let's be honest, if it wasn't for the withdrawals, a lot of us would already have been off of opiates, you know, way sooner. And a lot of people would be getting off more on a regular basis. You would see it happening a lot more if the withdrawals weren't so bad, right? And I imagine also the rates of relapse would likely be lower as well, if the withdrawals weren't as horrific as they are or as they can be, depending on how much you were taking. So give the bridge a look. I don't have any specific sources for you on where to get it, how to get it. I mean, you can look it up. The device is called the Bridge. Again, the video that I watched on it is called the Odyssey House Test New Mind-Blowing Device for Opiate Withdrawals. It says, so far, the only negative effects reported by the Bridge users are skin irritation and a small amount of bleeding where the device rests, okay? Because it does stick to, you know, the skin. So just, you know, not unlike a Band-Aid, if it stays on your skin or some sort of adhesive, gets on your skin for a decent period of time. Maybe it causes a little skin irritation, or when you rip it off, you know, a little bit of bleeding or something. But besides that, it seems like it's okay. The NSS2 Bridge costs $995. Currently, most insurance plans do not cover it, according to Church. Not sure what Church is. But that may change if research continues to highlight the benefits of the device. Church also notes that some clinics may offer payment plans or sliding scale costs based on your income. So anyway, it's called the Bridge. Give it a look. There, I talked about it. Hopefully that helps someone out there. Seems like a good thing, man. I mean, one good thing I like about the idea of this, if it does, you know, send impulses into your brain and actually kind of blocks all those negative withdrawal symptoms, you know, the good news about that, while you have this thing in and while you're going through your days not experiencing the withdrawals, internally, your body should be resetting as normal. You know, all your opiate receptors starting to regenerate, getting back to normal. So I imagine what happens is you keep the device on, keep the device on, keep the device on, keep the device on. Then eventually, after a week, week and a half, 2 weeks, whatever, you should be able to start coming off of the device. And then, you know, the withdrawals be gone. So it wouldn't be like a long-term maintenance sort of thing, like a Suboxone or something like that, right? So anyway, the Bridge, that's what it's called. Give it a look. Hope it helps someone. At Vape Legend 85 says, I need to actually stick with a taper. I'm around 26 grams per day. I recently just started weighing it. My wife tells me I act like a crackhead with it. I just want to get down to very little. That's funny. I mean, it's not funny. I hate that you're going through that, but obviously your wife has never been through some sort of opiate withdrawal. Mine has not either. You know, luckily my wife has always been very patient with me regarding it. And, you know, for me at least, I never went overboard to the point where I'm, you know, spending all our money. We can't pay our bills because of it. And I'm, you know, just in a really bad way physically. I've always kind of stayed on top of my business while taking Kratom. Well, I should speak more in past tense. I haven't had it in a month, but yeah, my wife was always really patient with me on that. But that could be a good thing, could be a bad thing. Let's be honest. Maybe if she wasn't as patient and kind of gave me some ultimatum, maybe I would get my ass in it and get off of it and stay off of it. But anyway, I'm off for now, so it is what it is. Yeah, man, just stick to it. You know, it's not easy. We all realize that. Everybody on this channel, I think, realizes that. It's not an easy prospect, man. You know, coming off of opiates is no easy thing. And if it were, then none of us would be here. I wouldn't be here. This channel wouldn't exist. You wouldn't be watching this channel right now. Understand? So we're all with you on that. It is true. You do have to have some sort of discipline. You know, get somebody on the same page with you, your wife, by example. Get her to help hold you accountable for it if she's willing. You know, call another friend, someone close to you, someone who doesn't have an issue with kratom or opiates. Let them know what's going on with you. See if you can make a call to them a couple of times a day. Or if worse comes to worse, you may need to pop up into an NA and an AA. A lot of people use those programs, especially for the accountability piece. And I support that. You know, it's not for everyone, but I think a lot of people may need that. It may be, you know, key to ultimately recovering off of, you know, something like kratom or whatever it is. Anyway, thanks for the comment. At Lene Cuddy. Hi, Corey. I just wanted to comment on something you said another episode where you were talking about that pig in your ear grunting at you. I hate that pig. He's been bothering me recently, too. I'm getting to that point where 4 weeks without it, I'm just like, you know, I'm starting to be like Vape Legend's wife was saying. I'm starting to feel like a crackhead, fiending. I was ending my 3rd week of no kratom for an upcoming physical. After my physical, a little birdie starts chirping in my ear on how I did so good and I deserve a reward. Oh yes, Lene, the old I've been doing great, so I deserve to award myself with what? You got it, kratom. I like the way you describe it as a little birdie. For me, it's more like a pterodactyl, you know, at least an eagle, you know, one of the two. I mean, the bird, the longer you go without it, seems like the bird gets bigger and bigger and bigger. It's a little birdie, then it's a parrot, then it's a falcon, then it's an eagle. Before it's all over with, you got a full-blown prehistoric pterodactyl. And I'm sure that's exactly how a pterodactyl sounds. I'm just saying. I know this shit. So how she deserves a reward. So I gave in. I took about 7 grams. And sorry to say, it was great. And I got a lot of shit done around the house. So I'm trying 1 week on, 1 week off. I pray I have the discipline to accomplish that. Anywho, really appreciate and enjoy your channel. Wish me luck and best wishes for you and your family. I will say thank you, Lene, and best wishes to you too. And I will say that if you can do that and if you can maintain that sort of discipline, I absolutely support it. And I am pulling for you that you're able to do that. Many people can't. Many people can't. I was able to do it for a few weeks there. And then I actually just kind of stopped and I started pushing myself to just not go on the weekends or not take it on the weekends as well. I'm 4 weeks out and I'm freaking dying. I'm not even gonna lie. My wife and I are going on a vacation, not this weekend, but the next, to the mountains. I don't know, guys. I'm gonna be sitting in this nice ass cabin up in the mountains, very secluded. We're gonna be there for 3 days. So obviously, you know, just like with the UFC event that I went to a few months back, I'm having those thoughts. Just a little bit of kratom with me. It'll make my time, you know, so much more enjoyable there, you know. So, man, you know, I've come to the conclusion those thoughts, those feelings are never really gonna go away. It truly is one of those things where you have to decide if you want to really stay off this shit forever. I mean, that's what it comes down to, because those cravings, I imagine, will probably never go away. And I think you'll get to a point after a year, 2 years, especially 3 years, 5 years, where there'll be significantly less, but those cravings can turn right back on, just like a light switch, with you consuming the substance, right? So it really does have to be one of those things where you just have to make the decision. Are you going to stay off of it forever? Or are you going to be a person that kind of dabbles in it? You know, because if you're a person that's going to dabble in it, you run that risk, depending on how deep your addiction runs, you run that risk of the next thing you know, you're taking it every day, all day, just like you were before, right? And I think that's where most people find themselves having trouble. But hey, you may be one of the ones that has the discipline. I'm pulling for you that is the case. What I will say to you is, if that's what you want to do, don't compromise. Do not compromise. You have to have the ability to not compromise with yourself. You can't say, well, I've been doing so good, I didn't take it at all last week. You know, let me go ahead and hit some on this Monday too. You know, it ain't gonna hurt me to take just a little bit on Monday. I know I've been taking it Sunday through Sunday and then stopping on Monday the following week, but today I'm just gonna take it on Monday and then I'll stop on Tuesday. I wouldn't, because if you do that, that one compromise is going to lead to another, then another, then another, and you know, it's a tale as old as time as it relates to the drug addict brain and mentality, right? So I will say this will tell you for sure if you have that addict mindset or not. If you're able to take it for a week, then not for a week, take it for a week, then not for a week. If you're able to do that indefinitely, 6 months, a year, year and a half, and you find that you're still doing that, not much trouble with doing that, then, you know, your addict brain probably doesn't run as deep as some people's do. Because some people wouldn't be able to do that shit for even a week, you know. Anyway, moving on. At Boom Jitsu says, what's up, Corey? Just wanted to let you know I'm currently on day 5 kratom free. Let's go, my man. Also, I stopped nicotine the same day. Yeah, I want to cut in here. I did that. I smoked cigarettes for probably, I would say, a good 7 or 8 years back in my 30s. It's been probably 6 years ago now that I quit. I quit sometime like back in, I guess it was 2017, maybe. 2017. Somewhere around in there. I've been quit for about 5 years now. And that was tough. That was tough too. I wouldn't put it up there with quitting opiates. But it was tough, you know. I found just more with the nicotine. I just had I did use some nicotine gum. And I did have kind of some headaches, some on and off headaches for a week or two. But, you know, after a month or two of just not smoking and not allowing myself to have any cigarettes, I kind of did get to the point where I just didn't really think about it anymore. And now I'm to a point where I can be somewhere in public, see somebody smoking. I have absolutely no desire to smoke a cigarette. In fact, if I walk through their cloud of smoke, I'm just like, you know, I don't even like smelling it now. And it's one of those where, damn, I can't believe I used to do that, you know, that sort of thing. And now, like, I'm a super big health nut and I run and exercise all the time, all those things. So I kind of did a full 360 on that. Well, not 360. That would be that I will still be smoking if I did a 360. My math sometimes, guys. A 180. I did a 180 on that. Hey, I will say this. I think it's great. You know, it's funny how when you make a change in one area of your life, you start to feel empowered to make positive changes in other areas. That's absolutely true. That absolutely is a real thing. But I will say to you, if you start to have the thoughts of, if it's just too much, and you start to have the thoughts of, you know, I can't do the kratom and the nicotine at the same time, and you get tempted to go back to the kratom or whatever, if you need something to kind of offset, if you have to go back to something temporarily, let it be the cigarettes, in my opinion. Because once you completely leave the kratom behind and you get to the point where you are not really thinking about the kratom so much anymore, then you can come off the cigarettes, okay? Because I know it is tough probably doing both at the same time. Now listen, if you can do it, if you can stay strong and committed, hey man, I'm freaking pulling for you, brother. I always am. So if you can do it and you can maintain the discipline, absolutely do it. But if it comes too much and you're just like, oh, I can't do both of these at the same time, I'm going to have to pick one of them back up. I'd pick up the smoking temporarily. And then once you're past, the serious shit in terms of the kratom, then look to put down the kratom. The cigarettes at a different time. It's just like if I put down kratom, right? But I didn't put down coffee. I'm still drinking coffee. I'm drinking coffee right now. One day I might want to give up drinking coffee. I might want to give up the caffeine. But I wasn't about to do that shit at the same time I was giving up kratom, right? I just felt like it was too much. And I felt like one would cause me to fail at the other. You understand? But anyway, I figured I was going to feel shitty anyway, so I might as well kill two birds with one stone. Boy, oh boy, that pig was squealing for the first couple of days. Today is the best I felt. I'm obviously not out of the woods yet, but I'm feeling really optimistic about my future, which I haven't felt that way in quite a while. Thanks for the motivation to handle my business, brother. You are absolutely welcome, bro. All I've really done is just gotten on here and shared my own experiences. But a lot of times that's enough. That's all people need to hear. Is someone that they can relate to. Someone that can sit on here and say, yeah, I know what you're going through. I feel that. I understand that. I went through something similar or exactly the same, and here's how I dealt with it. And, a lot of times that's all people need to have the motivation and the drive to, change their situation. And it sounds like that's the case with Boom Jitsu. And I know he's an active guy. I know he trains. We've discussed this before. I know he trains in jiu-jitsu, hopefully still. That's a great thing. Again, I'm always pushing myself physically, because when you challenge yourself and put yourself into the fire in other areas of your life, the tough things like coming off of cigarettes or when I came off of cigarettes, I absolutely replaced the cigarette smoking with exercise. I went from being a smoker to an exerciser. Is that a word? Exerciser. Well, it is now. And I basically replaced one with the other. You're replacing replacing a bad habit with a good one, okay? And so I think you'll be just fine, my man. Keep us updated. At Jean L. Jean 1983. You know who you are. I think it's Jean. I think she told me before that it's Jean, like Jean-Claude Van Damme. I'm just gonna call you Jean. So Jean says, you have me laughing out loud with the trying to get comfortable to sleep. I finally get to the point I'm like, F this. I'm just gonna get up and quietly do things around the house. It sucks so bad, especially when you hear your partner snoring sound asleep. LOL. Oh yeah. There's absolutely been times where I was just like, screw this, man, and just gotten out of bed and stayed up and done other things. There's absolutely been times that I've done that when I was in the throes of withdrawal. Yeah, I'm glad you got a kick out of it. It's not far from the truth. No matter what you do, you just can't quite get comfortable. At John-EN8ZD. Anyone heard of kratom causing hyperpigmentation in the skin, making cheeks and back of hands darker than usual? I'm experiencing some of the effects, which makes me realize I need to quit. It's funny how some negative experiences and negative side effects can kind of give you that little extra push to like, okay, maybe I should put this shit down now, right? So yeah, to answer your question, I have heard that. I've never experienced it myself, although when I was using it at my heaviest, there were times where I was pretty damn sure that my skin had kind of a greenish, yellowish type tint to it. You know how green's kind of green. You know how kratom's kind of green, but yellowish in a way. It's kind of that in between green and yellow. There definitely were times where, like, and I even told my wife about it. I looked in the mirror. I was like, is my skin kind of, greenish almost, like a little tinge. It's not like, oh, you're the fucking Hulk, not like the Incredible Hulk green, but just enough to where you're like, my skin doesn't seem the normal, like, whitish pink, you know. It went away when I, you know, stopped taking that amount of powder or whatever. And I'm not experiencing it now. I haven't been off of it for a little while, but I never really experienced this in particular, the hyperpigmentation, where you get darker. I've heard people get it around their cheeks and the hands, like you said. What I will say is, I think a really big part of this, and I'm telling you, this is going to cut me off soon, so I got to go. A really big part of this, I think, is you can offset that, okay, with drinking tons of water. All right. A lot of people, they take the kratom, but then they don't do other healthy shit along with it. They're just taking kratom, and then they don't drink a bunch of water, so they're not flushing out of their system, and their bodies struggle to expel all of that kratom that you're taking, especially if you're taking a large amount. So some of it's gonna, you know, show up like in your skin, and people have reported having bad skin, getting bumps, getting more acne, you know, rashes, all kinds of things. And that's just because your skin's one of your organs, dude. Your skin's an organ. So if you're flooding your body with something like kratom, and your body's trying to peel through it all and excrete it all, but then you're not even drinking water to help flush it out, you're gonna hold some of that in your skin. So just be aware of that. But yeah, I haven't experienced it myself. Guys, jump on and let John know if you've experienced anything like that. I would say that's definitely a good indicator that you probably need to quit, or at the least cut down a lot and making sure you're drinking a shit ton of water with it. Because if you're showing it in your skin, yeah, that's, you know, you probably need to fix that. You probably need to, at the least, change your relationship with it some, okay? Anyway, I gotta go, guys. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. I will see you next time. Peace.